being aware of one's own weaknesses is probably the greatest strength a leader can have. And that brings that humility, it brings that ability. And if you get fantastic people and you give them clarity around what you need them to do and then the room to do it, then it becomes easy to park the ego most of the time.
Yeah, I see the distinction. Like if I take a stand for a value or for a vision, then that's not ego. But if I take a stand because I want to win or because I am right, then that's more of a lot of personal rather than the togetherness. But I'm wondering, does that also make the experience lighter? Because stress and overwhelm, two things which almost every leader talks about. But a lot of that comes from, I have to win, I cannot lose. We cannot go down in numbers, but when you loosen that hold to winning, you actually are more capable of winning and also making the journey a bit more light and fun. How do you relate to that?
Look, I think probably that's the thing I struggle most with. Anybody that knows me will tell you I am an extraordinarily competitive person, not always healthily, whilst I like to believe that I am an inclusive leader. I won't sacrifice winning for that. And so it's not always lightness of touch. And you talked about scale of business as well. It doesn't matter whether your business is 150 million or 150,000. The impact's the same. In the scale of your organization, it's just relative. I think it's probably been the biggest struggle throughout my career. I want to believe I'm an authentic leader. I want to believe that my teams, for good or for bad, tell you they know what I'm thinking, they know how I feel, my heart, my sleeve, a lot of the time. And that means when it's going great, they know it. And if I think it's not going great, they know it. I'm not a big shouter. I'm not I throw things around the room, but I put all of myself into the role. And that does mean that it's not always easy to switch off and you don't feel the losses as much as you feel the gains. And I think I talk a lot to people that I've mentored in the past and people in my own organization around that. There's a whole conversation, obviously, that's been going for a long time about work-life balance. And I've never really liked that discussion because I don't think it's accurate, because it implies work bad, life good. And certainly for me personally, for most of the people that I know and work with, work is a big part of life. I feel good about myself if I do things well at work. I feel good about myself as an individual if I'm doing a good job. And the flip side of that is work becomes bad when it's hard and it's difficult and it's impinging on the other bits of your life. And that's the balance. It's not a work-life balance. It's just a life balance that goes, that I think is a challenge. Yeah, it's definitely not always light touch, and it's not always an easily carried burden, but it is something that I enjoy carrying, but that doesn't mean it's not heavy every now and then.